So, it's been a very long time since I've had to give you a rant video, but here comes one, and this rant video is aimed at, well, there's 2 or 3 companies that have worked here together to ruin yesterday for me. I will begin with Photobox. Now, I actually have nothing yet against Photobox. It's a website that allows you to basically put pictures onto stuff to make gifts. So it could be cards, it could be mugs, or in my case it could be frames. Now, I wanted 2 frames made, one of which is going to celebrate the second second full year of the acquisition of the allotment, and it was a gift really for my mother, and she'd selected the picture she wanted, and I'd made up the frames no problem, and I sorted it out and paid thankfully by credit card, so that the payment hasn't actually gone through yet, and Photobox sent me something to say, oh, thank you for your order, and then something else saying, it's been dispatched. Now, Photobox don't do their own deliveries. They use Yodel. And Yodel is, in basic terms, an absolute crap company. And I'll explain to you why, okay? It started when I had a little note shoved through my door saying, we called to drop off your boxes and we needed a signature. You weren't in, so, please ring this number to rearrange delivery. No problem, that happens all the time. Although if these companies actually used their brain, they would at least be delivering outside of office hours, because most people work for a living. Hence they are not going to be home, are they, at 11 o'clock in the morning. But, all the companies seem to do that, so fair enough. So I phone this mobile phone, and of course there's no answer, so I leave a message saying, this is who I am, this is what I'm expecting. The best day for me would be Friday afternoon. Left that as a voicemail on this guy's, the delivery driver, the courier's mobile phone, which I still have. I may not have his name, but I do have his number. And I phone from my landline, so he may have my landline, but he doesn't have my personal phone number. Anyway, so I got no reply the next day, which was Thursday, and I sort of needed an answer, because Friday afternoons I could either come home and sit and wait for him, or I could go to the allotment. So I needed to know if he'd got my message, and if he'd let me reply to me. And I'd got no reply to this message at all, which annoyed me significantly. So that was the first strike, basically. Anyway, I phoned him up and he said, Saturday's no problem. And I thought, well, hang on. I thought we had arranged Friday afternoon. But Saturday afternoon happens to work for me as well. So I said, no problem. I said, I finish work at 12, but I can't guarantee to be home until 1:30. So any time from 1:30 onwards is fine. I don't mind sacrificing my sleep at 3 to get these, despite having to pay an extra £5 for this delivery, okay, because of Yodel or whatever they're called. So on the day, Saturday, I left work, and this is where the third company comes in, and this is, I'm afraid, Harrogate and District buses. They really have to get their act together, because they are very, very overpriced, okay? I had to pay £2.30 to get myself from the centre of town to Jennyfields. It's less than 2 miles, okay? It's less than 2 miles, and that's what I'm paying. I expect the buses to be on time, and I expect the drivers to be courteous and to be skilled, so that they're not, doing emergency stops going down Harewood Road because, they've gone too fast down a road which they know is going to be difficult with oncoming traffic. Anyway, it was the day of the Knaresborough bed race, which is in the opposite direction of Harrogate to where I wanted to go, and yet still somehow there was no driver for this bus. And we'd waited 20 minutes. There's supposed to be 4 of them an hour, okay? So that's already unacceptable. And, you know, eventually this guy turned up, and he's the guy that had been floating around for a while, sort of going in and out of buses. I don't think he knew where he was supposed to be, what he was supposed to do. And finally somebody had to bring him down to show him the bloody bus, where we'd all been waiting for ages. One woman had to go to a different bus because she couldn't wait. The only reason I was using the bus was because on a Saturday afternoon I do my shopping and I have to get home, you know, with so many bags. I need to take the bus because if I walk, the danger is that one of the bags will split and I'll lose all my shopping. So there we are, I was stuck with that. Anyway, finally the bus left and I got home, I got in at 25 past, which was fine. And the reason I'd done that is because I had planned to make sure that I could get home for that time, even with the bus being about 25 minutes late leaving. I had still got home in time for this delivery man. So you can imagine my annoyance when I find a slip of paper through the letterbox saying, called at 20 past 1, you weren't in, so basically I'm going to now return this to the depot. I was livid. Absolutely livid. If the bus had been on time, I would have made that. I would have got home in time to receive my packages. So, you know, the bus station has a lot to answer for this. But secondly, I had clearly stated to him 1:30 onwards. So 1:20 is before 1:30, so he shouldn't be delivering it then anyway. Anyway, so I phoned his number and I said, excuse me, but I'm waiting for the packages. Oh, well, I went at 20 past and you weren't there. And I said, no. I said, well, we arranged for you to be here any time from 1:30 onwards. Oh, no, he said, it was 1 o'clock. Now, this is the guy who'd already mistaken my Friday afternoon for my Saturday afternoon. And now he was mistaking my 1:30 for my 1 o'clock. I said, no, it wasn't. It was 1:30. Now, I had already tried to ring Yodel. That was the first thing I did, because they have a rearrangement thing. And basically, you speak to a computerised voice, and you have to type in your code number. And on the 2 slips that he gave me, the code number was different on both of them, despite the fact it was the same delivery. And the phone, when I typed in the things, it was saying that it wasn't on file or something like that. Basically, it was not recognising either of these 2 codes, which is why I then went back to the courier, because I thought, you know, I would probably lose my cool with the courier if I phoned them first. So that took another 5 minutes or so. So it was about 25 to by the time I phoned him. He couldn't have been more than quarter of an hour away, and he was refusing to come back and deliver this thing to me. And I explained to him, look, I've already phoned the office, and the parcel that I've got isn't recognised with them, despite it being their own parcel. So how can I rearrange a suitable time for delivery when I can't get in contact with the office? And his reply was, oh, well, I'm just a driver. I don't know, that's office stuff. It's just not good enough. It is just not good enough. So I went online and I couldn't get into the little My Yodel tracking thing either, because of the same problem that I had with the phone. They weren't seeming to recognise either of my 2 numbers. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to go back to Photobox and try and find a way, you know, of talking to them. Now, when I went to Photobox, they had a 3rd order number for me, because it was their order number, not Yodel. And I was able to transfer from there to Yodel's site, which was within the My Yodel tracking thing, which spouted all this nonsense about, it told me that the parcel had arrived and departed from the Hatfield terminal, and that the depot was in Keighley, which was just as well, because how was I supposed to know where my nearest depot was? And I also managed to fill in a feedback form to them. Don't know whether it got to them or not. But that was because I'd been able to get inside, and I'd had to go back to Photobox to do that, because the Yodel site wasn't, obviously registering my parcel, or whatever. Having done that, I then decided that I was going to contact Photobox, and I was going to say, look, this is not on. I still haven't got my stuff, and I would rather like to have this frame by the 23rd, which is when the date of acquisition is. Good on me for planning this early, in case shit like this goes down. I said to them, look, this was a sort of email thing as well. I said I'd like a response by the end of Monday, which is the same ultimatum that I'd given to Yodel about what to do with this. Otherwise, I was going to attempt to cancel it. Now, I know that the frames have already been produced and already been sent out once, so cancelling in terms of not being able to in terms of stopping the order is impossible. They've already made the products. But I'm blowed if I'm going to pay for them. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. If they can't deliver them properly, I'd even said to the courier that if he wanted to just leave them rather than having me sign for them, that was fine. I'd never signed up to anything on Photobox that said I needed a signature anyway. And my problem is that even if I rearrange this thing, it's likely to be the same fucking courier that comes round to deliver it. So that's sort of where I left it. I have left it in their hands. I've left it in Photobox and Yodel's hands, and if they don't get back to me by the end of Monday, on Tuesday I shall start to get really, really angry, because I didn't actually phone Photobox, because it's not actually their problem, it's Yodel at the moment. So I just emailed, but I will actually phone Photobox on Tuesday morning if this hasn't been sorted out. I still have the number of the guy who is the courier, and I'm also going to write, because this is the other thing, you can't speak to anybody at Yodel, but they do actually have a written address, a postal address in Liverpool, which I'm going to write to as well, regardless, because it's appalling. It really is appalling when I'm paying the extra for it. Do you know what I mean? So what could have been like £20 is nearly £30, because I've had to pay for Yodel. And what have they done? The guy has messed me around. He's basically insulted me, called me a liar, can't get his timing sorted out. And why should I have to put myself out for something that I have paid for? It's not my problem. It really is not my problem. I've given him times. He won't stick to them. I've given him alternative means of getting it to me by leaving it on the premises. So as far as I'm concerned, very, very angry. And I will do a part 2 of this when I know what's going on. But there we are. That's a rant video. And, I've heard bad things from other people as well. At least 3 other people have told me that Yodel is pretty rubbish. One of them is having trouble with them as we speak. Another one used Amazon, and Yodel claimed that they couldn't deliver to them. Why the hell not? It's a street, it's a house, the house exists. What's the problem with delivery? All that sort of problems. And I worry that what Yodel do is that they actually source to local people that are not professional couriers, but just people with vans, and they're a law unto themselves. It's almost subcontracting. If that's the case, then I'm going to try and push to get this guy, off the streets in terms of that, because you just don't talk to customers like that at all. And it's really annoying that Yodel almost seem to expect this, so they don't really allow you very easy ways of getting in contact with them, somebody to talk to at all. if you can't get past their phone system and you can't get into their proper website, it's the sign of a dodgy company. But you know, it's a dodgy company that decides it's safe to make war with me. So there we are.